You finally decide to do the responsible thing. You start setting aside $100 here, $200 there, moving it straight into your savings account every month. You feel disciplined. This chart shows how that discipline plays out over a year. You build up a solid $10,000 in that account, but at a typical 0.5% interest rate, your reward for 12 months of saving is $50. Meanwhile, you're constantly hearing people talk about index funds, the stock market, and compound growth. You look at your $50 return and start to wonder if you're doing something wrong. The hesitation to move that money comes from how we process stability. A savings account offers a static, unmoving number that feels safe, while investing requires you to watch your account balance fluctuate, which often triggers an instinctive fear of loss. But those two types of accounts have completely different jobs. A savings account is built to protect your money. An investment account is built to grow it. Sticking exclusively to savings guarantees you will never lose a dime to short-term market dips, but it also ensures you will never build actual long-term wealth. Let's look at the actual cost of playing it entirely safe. We can project the exact same $10,000 over a 20-year timeline, comparing a 1% savings rate against the historical 10% average of the S&P 500. Here is the safest path. After 2 decades parked in savings, your $10,000 crawls to about $12,200. Now look at the investing route. By earning a 10% average, that same starting amount balloons to roughly $67,000. This $55,000 disparity proves that long-term financial outcomes depend more on where you put your money than on simply tucking it away. Making that transition without panicking requires a specific sequence. Step 1 is building a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in cash. This creates a psychological buffer against real-life crises like medical bills or car repairs, so you are never forced to sell your investments early to cover a sudden expense. Step 2 is creating a hard mental boundary. You establish a safety bucket that never moves and a growth bucket that is actively allowed to fluctuate over time. Steps 3 and 4 are about execution. Start with $50 or $100. The goal right now is to build the habit, not get rich overnight. And ignore highly complex speculative strategies like crypto or day trading completely. Instead, stick to the simplest vehicle available, the index fund. Because an index fund automatically tracks hundreds of different companies at once, you dilute the risk of any single business failing. Even Warren Buffett has repeatedly advised that everyday investors should stop trying to pick individual stocks and just buy low-cost, boring index funds. Building wealth doesn't require a high tolerance for gambling or a degree in advanced math. It requires simple, repetitive habits that safely separate your emotional reactions from your money. But you still have to confront the obvious question: what happens to your growth bucket when the market crashes? Market drops are historically normal and frequent. In the moment, looking at the news or a frantic trading floor, a downturn feels chaotic and terrifying. However, if you are investing a set amount of money every single month, a market drop simply acts as a discount. Your monthly contribution automatically buys more shares at a lower price. When you stretch your timeline from days into decades, that short-term volatility stops being a threat to your security and becomes your greatest mechanical advantage. This routine of consistent investing is the engine behind compounding growth. To see exactly how much power it has, imagine you put just $300 a month into the market, earning a conservative 8% average return over 25 years. Over a quarter century, your total out-of-pocket contribution adds up to $90,000, but your final portfolio balance hits roughly $285,000. Compounding interest generated nearly $195,000, essentially tripling your input through passive growth. Saving your money is like storing seeds in a jar. They are safe, but nothing happens to them. Investing is planting those seeds in messy soil. It looks dirty at first, but given enough time, you grow an entire orchard. Saving provides you with the stability to weather today's storms, but taking the psychological leap into investing is how you buy your future freedom.